Hello, everyone. My name is Florencio Gobellan Rodriguez. I am a third-year psychology major and McNair scholar, and I am so excited to present my research in this year's Discover Research Symposium. My research is titled Resting State Brain Activity and its relationships to mental health and epilepsy using manussolography, which I'll be referring as MEG. So we do know that epilepsy is one of the most common neurological disorders in the United States. What epilepsy is a disorder that causes an electric burst in the brain, which causes seizures. We also know that if you have epilepsy, you are most likely to have either depression and anxiety, or you have higher rates of depression and anxiety. Like as you can see here in my graph, you can see that 50% of those children with epilepsy have neither. 30 to 80% have depression, 20 to 40 of them have anxiety. So some other research questions that we're researching is, do youth with epilepsy differ from healthy control in their resting state brain activity using MEG? So this is asking if children with epilepsy have either less or more brain activity as those with no epilepsy. Second question is, can difference in resting state activity can be detected by seizure type, focal or generalized epilepsy? So this is asking if both children have epilepsy, which one has more or less brain activity? Is it the one with focal epilepsy or is it the one with generalized epilepsy? And our last research question is, do resting state brain activity markers correlate with depression and anxiety severity? So this is asking if children with epilepsy that also have depression or anxiety, do they have more or do they have less brain activity in the brain due to these symptoms? We did this by conducting an experiment with 53 adolescents, from 10 years old to 20 years old. 27 of those 43 adolescents were females, 45% were Caucasians. Out of this 53, we did 28 that had epilepsy and 25 were a control group. We recorded data using MEG, 10 minutes of MEG recording. Five of those 10 minutes were with eyes open, while 10 of the other minutes were with eyes closed. And we also assess the symptoms of depression and anxiety using two scales, using the GED-7 and the PHQ-9 scales. We have collected data already, but we have not processed the data. So whenever the data is processed, we'll be using the independence hypothesis to analyze it and to compare the spectrum independence power between groups. We'll be using the Pearson correlations analysis to explore associations between the clinical data. So right here I have pictures of how our MEG is being recorded. And like I mentioned, we have collected data, but we have not processed or analyzed the data, which means that we don't have results just yet. We do have expected results based in similar studies as well as some literature review, where we see that there is actually more brain activity in kids with epilepsy in two regions of the brain. Alpha, which is right here in the back of the brain, and delta, which is the front of the brain. These two regions of the brain cover two really important regions of the brain, such as precorneus, the angular gyrus, posterior cingulate gyrus, as well as the hippocampus, which are very important for the brain. And lastly, we did see that there is correlation between psychiatric symptoms such as depression, anxiety, and brain activity. And those with epilepsy will differ between subgroups of epilepsy, which means that there is more brain activity in those with either focal or generalized epilepsy as well. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to any of my research mentors or myself, and I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you so much for the opportunity and have a great day.